Welcome to sports, everybody. Trainer Ray Minus Jr. not too happy with the overall state of amateur boxing in the Bahamas. Minus thinks it's a mistake to send our elite fighters to Cuba to train, and he says the proof is in the pudding, with neither Carl Heel or Valentino Knowles qualifying for the London Olympics.
Those guys are very talented, well experienced, a great wealth of knowledge in the ring, and to see that some of the guys who they beat were able to, when the trials come, upset them. And so that tells me that you leave yourself open for coaches to spy on you and figure you out.
As for the solution to the problem, Minus says it's simple.
I would like to see the finance that is given to Cuba put here in the Bahamas to develop boxers. We got hundreds of young boys want to box. And if you're going to take $4,000 a month and give it to the Cuban to have their program, that make any sense? All we're doing is hurting ourselves. But if we can have a program where we're hosting events all the time, providing experience, our boxers could be just as good or better, because our technique is good. In fact, one of the reasons why the boxers is catching on so good with the Cuban program is because they already trained that way. It's a spiteful act to take the boxers from champion and try to control the situation, and then at the end of the day jump on the plane and say, I did it. Did what? Words, strategy, the connection means so much to coach and boxer. If the boxers working with the Cuban, only the boxer and the Cuban know it. But our coach is just jumping on the plane, going there, coach in the corner, don't even know any code about it, and hurting the boxers.
Speaking specifically to Carl and Valentino, Minus says he thinks it's time for both fighters to jump to the pro ranks.
What you gonna hang around for now? You 23, 24, 25 years old. It's time for you to try to see if you can become a world professional champion. The problem with them getting the opportunity is they didn't get an opportunity to represent at the Olympics. See, when you fail, that contract that you was expecting is not there anymore. And so they in a deciding factor on what am I gonna do. And they don't even know.
Well, both our ladies and men's national softball teams will take part in international competition before the year ends. However, as Julian Gibson tells us tonight, one veteran of the game is questioning how serious the Federation is about the task at hand.
According to Paul Demerit, our ladies' national softball program is in total shambles.
And the problem is we don't have any youths into the sport. We tend to want to carry the girls, the older girls, on the national team year after year. We don't give the youngsters a chance. I think we need to rebuild. We need to stay away from tournaments for about 4 to 5 years, get a team together, rebuild, teach them the fundamentals of the game, and go and then compete in live sports.
You talk about rebuilding. Stephen Bishop Bennaby, he's trying to do his best.
Oh, I'm with him 100%. He is the only coach, as far as I'm concerned, that is trying to get the youths involved. All the others, we can't have 40-year-old girls playing softball. It doesn't work. They should be in old-timer softball, not in competitive softball.
What about our men's program, just as bad as the ladies? Are they in better shape?
Well, I think they're a little better shape than the ladies. But here again, we carry the old folks. We always pick the old folks. There's not a mixture of youth and experience. And I think that's what has to happen, youth and experience. And I think what has to happen, we have to get let the young people with new ideas come into the sport. They have new, better ideas. We can't stick with that old regime the rest of our life. We can't.
In softball, is there a boys' club where the buddies make the national team? My favorite, my cousin.
So, you know, and no question about that. There's no question about that in my mind. That's why the sport is not improving. Mind you, you may be the best player of the bunch, but if they don't like you, you're not going to go.
Your record speaks for yourself. Why are they are not utilizing your expertise in coaching on the national team?
Well, I'm being told that because I don't coach now, I'm not eligible to coach the national team. Now, for me, that's absolute nonsense. I'm a Bahamian. I played this game, I studied this game, I love this game, and I am confident that I could coach this game.
That's a slap in the face.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, yes, but it's fine with me.
Paul Demerit speaking his mind. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I am Julian Gibson.
All right, thanks a lot, Julian. Well, starting this week and continuing through the rest of the NFL season, our experts here at ZNS Total Sports will be giving you our picks of the week. We start off with the wannabe Philadelphia Eagle, Charles Fisher.
We had development league, we had camps, we traveled.
Well, like we told you, we are going to try and give you our NFL picks this week. And up next, we are going to give you the first views of our ZNS Total Sports team, and that is our very own Charles Fisher. Well, actually, we are going to start with my very own picks, and let's start off with the game between the Colts and the Bears. Actually, I have this one going in a 10-point favor of the Bears. The Colts, they had a good quarterback in the draft with Andrew Luck, but the roster around him still not that impressive on either side of the ball. As for the Bears, they were rolling last season before quarterback Jake Cutler had a season-ending injury. Plus, now they have the services of Brandon Marshall, who, of course, was with the Miami Dolphins. And we can tell you now that the Miami Dolphins, they don't have the services of Brandon Marshall, a very good wide receiver, so he should do very good for the Bears. New England, they should have a pretty easy time with Tennessee this week. I see it as a 2-touchdown ball game. Tom Brady, of course, he will be Tom Brady. Of course, the offense very potent there with targets like Wes Welker, Hernandez, and Gronkowski. The defense has also improved, and that is a very key against first-year starting quarterback Jake Locker. As for the Detroit game, I have the Lions as a 13-point favorite over the Rams. Their defensive line, that is stacked, and that combined with the connection of Megatron and Matt Stafford, that will prove too much to overcome. And I think that game will go in favor of the Lions. The Dolphins and Texans, this one, of course, is a no-brainer. And I have this one by 17 in favor of the Texans. Matt Schaub, solid quarterback. Andre Johnson, a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Adrian Forster, an excellent running back, in the defense quite good, even after losing Mario Williams to free agency. As for the Dolphins, they start a pretty decent rookie quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. However, he has nobody to throw the ball to, so another long season there in South Florida. In terms of the Monday night games, I have the Bengals beating the Ravens by a field goal in a defensive battle. Cincinnati has a stout defense. Also, they have a pretty good connection on the offensive side of the ball with A.J. Green, also with Andy Dalton there at quarterback. Baltimore, meantime, a questionable offensive line. Safety Ed Reed, he'll turn 34 in a few days. Linebacker Ray Lewis at 37. Also, Terrell Suggs could be out for the rest of the year, and they released the kicker. That is Billy Cundiff. He was the GOAT last year in the playoffs. The under Monday night game, that is the Raiders taking on the Chargers. This one should be competitive with the Raiders playing at home. However, I still see the Chargers pulling out a 6-point victory. San Diego has an elite quarterback in Phillip Rivers. Also a good tight end there in Antonio Gates. Oakland, meantime, they'll depend on Darren McFadden. He had a season-ending injury last year, but he should be back. Also, Carson Palmer, he came out of retirement last year and threw 16 interceptions in 10 games, so we'll just have to see how that goes for the rest of the season.
For week number 1, NFL season is here, and boy, I'm glad that it is starting. Well, my easiest pick has to go the Miami Dolphins, who I predict to finish 1-16. If they come to the Bahamas and play the Origi Sands Pros in the Commonwealth American football game, they might win that game, but I'm picking them to lose this weekend to the Houston Texans by 12. Yes, that's the spread on that, and I'm picking them to go down by 12. My Philadelphia Eagles, yes, they will make the Super Bowl this year. Michael Vick is ready. 8.5 favorites over the Cleveland Browns. They should win there. Also this weekend, Detroit and St. Louis, Detroit Lions and Matt Stafford, they are going to roll by more than 7. I predict they're going to win there. And my other pick this week, the Atlanta Falcons, they are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on the road by 3. As for your Monday night game, the Baltimore Ravens and that defense will stomp Cincinnati Bengals and win that by 6. And my underdog pick this week is going to be the San Diego Chargers. I don't call it an upset over the Oakland Raiders because the Oakland Raiders can't play football even though they got Carson Palmer for all that big money. I'm going with San Diego, and that's my pick for the week. Julian, Chris, Johnny, good luck, but guess what? I'm on top.
Week 1 of NFL season, these are the total package picks. If you want to be right, if you want to be on the winning side, well, you got to go with my picks. Andrew Luck, Indianapolis coach Andrew Luck, he's a new quarterback. Chicago Bears, they are favored at home 9.5 by going with Indianapolis Colts. Give me Colts and Andrew Luck in game 1. Now, New York Jets, they're going to be taking on the Buffalo Bills. Jets are home. Jets are favored by 2.5. Jets had an awful preseason, but I believe Jets can cover that 2.5. Now, Tennessee, they'll take on the champions. They're the champions, in my opinion, New England Patriots. The Patriots, they're favored by 6.5. Tennessee home. New England Patriots, they should be able to run up the score on Tennessee. Now, my fourth pick is a good game, folks. It's probably the game of the week. Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a better team than Denver, but Denver, they brought in Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, he cannot lose at home first game, so I'm going with Denver and Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning favored by 1.5. They should win that game by a field goal against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, come Monday night, it should be a good game. Baltimore and Cincinnati, Ray Lewis should have those guys ready. Baltimore favored by 6. Baltimore should win that game at least by 2 touchdowns. Also, San Diego and Oakland, the battle of 2 of the worst teams in football. You got to put the Miami Dolphins there too. But two awful teams. I'm going with the San Diego Chargers. They are underdogs by 1.5. But give me the Chargers to win this game. Now, if you want all the right picks, NFL football every week, check me out. Don't mind Fisher, don't mind Benson, and wait for Chris.
Years, Chris Saunders was unable to tape his picks, but this is how he sees week number 1. A Cowboy at heart. Chris has the Dallas Cowboys taking out the Giants by 7 tonight. He says the boys will be out for blood after the Giants dashed their postseason hopes last season. Even with Cam Newton calling the plays for Carolina, Chris says they have the best chance to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this one by 3 points. With the Chiefs starting off with their first string week, he says they will take care of the Falcons, that is, will take care of those Chiefs by 2 touchdowns. He's also got the Eagles crushing the Browns by 3 touchdowns after Philly had a good offensive performance in the preseason. As for the Monday night games, Chris says Baltimore will be looking for redemption after last season, so he has the Ravens winning by 6 over the Bengals. And then in the ho-hum AFC West matchup, he's got the Chargers winning by 7 solely on their 3rd down conversion proficiency. And that will do it for sports.